Duplicate contacts inside of your CRM can be a pain. So today I'm going to show you how in GoHighLevel you can use the deduplication and duplicate manager inside of the contacts page in order to manage and merge duplicate contacts inside of your CRM. Now, if you take a look at our CRM, we've got a lot of duplicates across a lot of different fields. We have some that have the same name, some that have the same emails, and some that have the same phone numbers. So how are we going to actually merge these contacts automatically and at scale when you have hundreds, if not thousands, of duplicate contacts in your CRM? Well, we can manage these by clicking the three dots in the top right hand side and then click Manage Duplicates. This is an awesome interface that we get to use in order to find duplicates on our first step and then merge them based off of three different fields. We can either find our duplicates based off of email, phone, or name. Now let's go ahead and select email and then select Find Duplicates. This will then look for different contacts inside of our CRM that have duplicate emails. For example, right here, this example here, we can see we have 4 different contacts that all have the exact same email, and they may have different phone numbers, may have different names, etc. So we want to use this system to merge these contacts. Now you'll see once you find a contact that has duplicates, you'll be able to click this drop down on the left hand side to see all of the duplicate contacts that you found with the same email, name, or phone number. And in order to merge this contact, what we'll do is first select the different contacts that we want to merge. So maybe in this case, we have 2 contacts that do have the same email, but we don't want to merge them. We can simply uncheck them on the left-hand side. We'll then select which one is the master contact, which would be simply the contact that everything comes over to whenever we merge in additional fields. So if one of these contacts has things like tags or activity that we want to include, we'll select that one as the master, and then the tags, activity, and other things from the other contacts will all come over whenever we merge them. In this case, we've got all of these different contacts, and we'll select one of these to the master. You can see they all have the same email address, and we can do one of 3 things. We can either reject this merge, which by clicking this button will mean that these 4 contacts will be marked in our CRM as not duplicates, which means this email address specifically will be marked as a non-duplicate email. So if we ever want to find duplicates again, this contact won't show up. There's some rare use cases where you may need to reject specific contacts from being merged. If let's say you have a local business and you have a family that's a customer and you have multiple family members and they all use mom's email address or something like that, you may want to reject them as duplicates based on that email. So some cases like that, this can be useful. In other cases, we can use review or merge as our other actions. So if we click review, we'll get to see this really useful screen where we can see more information for each of these contacts. Now, remember when we said earlier, we have a master contact, which keeps most of the data. And if there's anything that's being overwritten, that one keeps the data and doesn't get overwritten. This is where we can select different fields to be those primary fields. So in this example, we have 2 different phone numbers and one that's different. Let's say this one different phone number is the one we want to keep. Well, we can uncheck these phone numbers and check this one as the one we're going to keep whenever we merge these contacts. We then also have the conversations, and then we can select any relevant information from different contacts to merge them as one. If we want to include all the conversations with all the contacts, we can select all of these and so on. We can do that for all of our different fields. For each one of these, this represents one contact. So since we have 4 duplicates, we can see all 4 here. We can then click all fields to actually see all of the other fields associated with this contact that we want to keep or overwrite. Remember, we selected the phone number as the one that we're going to keep from this column. We'll keep the email and the name from these columns, and all the other information is currently the same. But if there's anything that we don't want to change or any info that's on one contact that's not on another, we can select it on these screens. In this reviewing process, we can configure everything, and then finally we can click merge contacts, and that will merge those 4 contacts into one, just like that. So now that our merge has been finished, they'll then be removed from our duplicate record screen, and we can move down the page with all of our other records. Alternatively, if we just click one contact that we have a few different records for as duplicates, we can just immediately click merge, click I understand this action cannot be undone, and then click merge duplicates to immediately merge them from this screen. Now what we just did was find our duplicate records by email, but as I said, we can also find our duplicate records by name and phone number. And name is the one that's going to be really useful, especially if you have multiple contacts with the same name, but different phone numbers and emails, and you want to bring them all into one contact. That's something that's really common to happen if, let's say, a customer purchases your product under one email, but the same name, but then opts into a form somewhere else with, again, the same name, but a different email. Since people have lots of different emails, that's very common. So you may want to find contacts under manage duplicates by name instead of email. And then by clicking that, you'll go through the exact same process. We'll then find all the contacts that have the same names, and they may have different email addresses. They may have the same phone numbers, doesn't really matter. And you'll go through the exact same process of reviewing and merging these contacts under our manage duplicate records screen. Now, as you can tell, this is super useful if you have lots of different duplicate contacts inside of your CRM. And if you are getting duplicate contacts in your CRM, I would highly recommend you check and make sure that under settings, business profile, and when you scroll down, that you have configured your contact deduplication preferences. HighLevel's automatic deduplication preferences are already really good. So I actually had to turn on allow duplicate contact in order to show you how this process works. But typically you want to have this turned off and either find contacts based on email or phone number in order to not allow duplicate contacts. By doing this, HighLevel will automatically merge these contacts whenever they're imported or whenever they opt in or whenever they're brought into your CRM or whenever they engage with you into one contact. That way you're not having to go through and manually merge them. So the merge manager that we just looked at is really helpful for those scenarios where you have lots of duplicate contacts and you need to manage them all in one screen. But I'd highly recommend you have allow duplicate contact turned off, so that way you can find contacts based on email or phone number and make sure that you don't end up with duplicate contacts in your CRM. Of course, if you have any questions about this, you can leave a comment on this video or refer to the help talk. As always, I hope you found this helpful and thank you very much for watching.